Hello, everybody. Love Local Podcast. I'm Mike.
And I'm Jason. What's going on, everybody? Thanks for joining us today.
I am pumped today, Jay. I think, when you look at like successful organizations these days, like championship teams, they always get these pieces that come together, like all-star teams, basically, and they go out and they win championships, right? Mm-hmm. Well, today, we're going to talk about a bunch of organizations around Palatine area that have come together to really knock it out of the park and win a championship in terms of food pantries.
Yeah, and they're looking just to be able to do good things in the community and to be able to bring awareness. And I think from being a Palatine resident myself just over this last year, we're going to be talking obviously with All Saints Food Pantry today. I've seen them grow and flourish. And a lot of it's because of the need that's happening in Palatine, I'm sure the surrounding community as well, just to be able to help people eat. Times are tough and people need help. Simplest way to say that. So excited to dive into that with both of our guests today.
I think people will be shocked at the growth or the need of food pantries since 2020, but we'll get to all that. Yeah. Right now, we are sitting in our lovely Betty D studio, as we normally are, and it is housed inside of Bellworks, which is in Hoffman Estates. And if you haven't checked it out, this video is going to give you everything you need to know. So stay tuned, and we'll be right back.
All right, friends, we are excited to showcase one of our sponsors, Bellworks, Chicagoland, and Hoffman Estates. Bellworks is new to the Chicago area, but the vision has been around since 2008 in New Jersey. We decided to set up our office and studio here at Bellworks because the energy within the building is off the charts. Working around other businesses and entrepreneurs in this modern space is unlike any other place available here in the Northwest Suburbs of Chicago. From the unique design to the vibe of being around other businesses and entrepreneurs, we were hooked from the first time we walked through the doors. The vision behind the Bellworks model is special, and in our opinion, the future of how we will work, live, and play. They coined the term metroburb, metropolis and suburbia. My friends, it is the best of both worlds, a city vibe, but right here in the suburbs of Chicago. Bellworks is a destination for business, culture, and life unlike any other in our area, with world-class offices, one-of-a-kind retail space, delicious dining options, awesome event spaces, and much more. The build-out is still in the beginning stages, but trust us when we say that it is a special place. Bellworks is unique in that it is a special place for any size business. Businesses have the opportunity to grow without ever having to leave Bellworks. They can start with a private office within a collaborative co-working environment called CoLab. When they grow to where they need more space, they can get a private built-out spec suite within the ready-to-wear suites. And if the business keeps growing, they can have a suite built up on the 3rd and 4th floors. The building is truly meant to create a community to help businesses thrive, grow, and be successful. The building is beginning to come alive and growing with tenants every single day. We are having a blast here at Bellworks and have enjoyed our new routines from working out in the Fit Lab gym that is available on the lower level to our coffee and lunch from Fairgrounds in the square. Bellworks is bringing urban cool, urban comfort, and urban convenience to the suburbs. To learn more about Bellworks, visit www.bellworks.com or reach out to us. We would love to connect you with them.
All right, everybody. Hope you enjoyed learning a little bit more about Bellworks Chicagoland. For those of you that don't know, it's the old AT&T building, right off of 90 in Hoffman Estates. A huge building, over 1 million square feet. Even that video that we did in the beginning of this year, this place is coming alive so much more. So if you're looking for a place to be able to get your, to get some work done, there's tables here. There's desks here. There's offices here.
They have tables and chairs.
Yeah,
they have chairs here
have
too, Jason.
And they have Wi-Fi.
They have Wi-Fi. Yeah. They have the internet here in this building.
The internet, so the World Wide Web, right? But it's an awesome place, and we love our time being here. So come check it out and enjoy. Maybe say hi to Mike and I or Monica. But for today's show, we're excited to dive deep into All Saints Food Pantry and all the good things that they're doing in the community. You're going to meet Michael and you're going to meet Laura, and here in a moment. There's just we're going to learn about the need today, but also the ways that we could support and help as community members. I know as me and Mike got prepared for this, what we learned is that sometimes when you're going on in your day-to-day life, you don't know the need that other people have within your community. But imagine if you did, and imagine if you could help. So stay here, stay tuned. I think we're going to dive into a beer first, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
so
let's do that.
Every time we get together, we have to talk about what's in the cup, right? So today we are talking about a local beer, and we are going to have Lagunitas, which is a brew house out of Chicago, originally from California, but is local enough because it has a brew house in Chicago. So we like to highlight a beer that somehow connects to our guest. Today is absolutely no different. The beer that we chose is actually something called Little Something Something Ale. The beer is perfect for our discussion as All Saints Food Pantry is a collaboration between All Saints Lutheran Church, St. Thomas of Villanova Catholic Church, and Northwest Community Healthcare. So many people in our community have benefited from the food pantry. So many people have donated, and so many organizations have donated a little something, something, whether it's time, money, effort, to help the vision of this food pantry and the community at large. So if you are inclined, you can get out, volunteer your time. You can donate some money if you'd want to. You can attend a great sponsored event that they might have. You can even rummage through your pantry and get rid of those non-perishables that you probably aren't going to eat anyway, realistically, right? You can do that. You can bring it, drop it off. Every little bit or something that you do will continue to allow All Saints Food Pantry to meet its goal. So as we kick off this interview, let's crack open our little something and put this dialogue to the test.
Yeah, a virtual cheers.
A virtual
right?
cheers, yeah.
Before we kind of dive in, I want to introduce you to our guest on the show today. And I'll kind of just do it one at a time, and we'll kind of go from there. So the first person I'll introduce is Michael DeMeyer. Michael, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Nice to be here.
Yeah, excited to have you on and dive deep, man. The next person that I'll introduce is Laura Lum. Hi, Laura.
Hi, nice to meet you guys.
Yeah.
And thank you for having us.
We're honored to have you, and we are excited to be able to get the word out about all the good things that you guys are doing in our local community for the people in need.
Sounds good.
I mean, I'm embarrassed. I've grown up in Arlington Heights my entire life. Haven't ventured out very far, moving anywhere else. I did not know that we had a food pantry so close and that did such a great thing. So to start, really, what is All Saints Food Pantry and kind of where you're located and what's the mission?
So we're actually located not at the All Saints Lutheran Church on Quentin in Palatine. We're located at the NCH Community Resource Center at 1585 North Rand, directly across the street from McDonald's.
Okay.
It's by Walmart too, right?
Correct.
Yeah, right down the street
Correct.
from Speedway there. Yeah,
Right,
totally.
right. And we're inside the building with many other agencies. So it's a really unique opportunity. So another organization called Palatine for Our Community.
Partners of our community?
Partners of our
Yeah,
community, you're right.
partners, yeah.
They have a lot of partners within the building. So it's just not the food pantry. There's a clothing closet. Harper College is there. There's many other agencies in the building to help all the people in need.
Okay, so the idea is it's a kind of a grouping of resources for somebody in the community, right?
Correct,
Nice.
correct.
I like that.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's huge. Can you tell us a little bit about the history of All Saints? I know you guys have come a long way since it all kind of started. Michael, if you want to share a little bit of the history.
So the pantry started in 2011 at actually a different church, Bethel Lutheran Church. That kind of grew and grew throughout the years, and then Bethel had the opportunity to sell their building to St. Mary's Coptic Church. So if you're ever going south on I-53, you see a gigantic mosaic of Mary. That's St. Mary's, and they purchased the church. So the food pantry was sort of temporarily without a home. But the congregation merged into All Saints Lutheran Church. Now, if you know your Palatine geography, All Saints Lutheran Church is pretty close to the Palatine Township building. The Palatine Township has had a successful and flourishing food pantry for a number of years, and a lot of people have contributed to that. So it didn't make any sense, and the Greater Chicago Food Depository wouldn't allow us to operate a food pantry more or less across the street from them. However, Pastor Seth, who is pastor there, is also a board member for Partners for Our Communities, which Laura just mentioned. And their organization was looking to add a food pantry to that building, to the Community Resource Center near Rand and Dundee Roads.
Yeah.
And I think it was 2017, I think they moved into the Community Resource Center and set up there, and has been operating there ever since.
Correct.
And then within the last late 2019, we added a mobile food pantry, and that's been a pretty successful and important aspect of the food pantry.
So let
going
me
forward.
understand, when you moved, all the consolidating of churches and all that stuff, when it moved close to the Palatine Food Pantry, there's somebody who monitors how close food pantries can be? Like that's a group that does that?
Well, we're an agency for the Greater Chicago Food Depository.
Okay.
And so was the town, so I believe they still are, the Palatine Township. So the Greater Chicago Food Depository they don't want to have agencies right across the street from each other, because then
Yeah.
you're competing for the same.
Which makes sense,
Yeah,
right?
makes
Right,
sense.
right. So the location of All Saints Lutheran Church was too close to the township. But I think the opportunity to go into the Community Resource Center was even better than having
Yeah.
it at the church.
And there probably was a need, right? Someone had to identify there was a
Definitely.
greater need
Yeah.
there.
Right.
Okay, that makes sense. And so, in terms of the growth into a mobile food pantry and also having in the resource center in 2018, it seems like things are going well, right? And then what happened since then? So since 2018, kind of what has the food pantry done? How's it grown? What's the need today?
Well, as Michael had said,
Should you crack open that beer before you tell us this? 'Cause I have a feeling
I
there's
think
going to be
I
a
would-
lot. Yeah.
the well, in 2018 we were doing about 35 to 40 families a week, and then 2019 it kind of followed suit, and we were growing slowly. We knew that we weren't servicing the area as much as needed, and we were struggling to get the word out.
Yeah.
And we would go to apartment complexes, post flyers, things of that nature. But the numbers really didn't grow. They would just grow slightly, and even the word of mouth wasn't enough. But then March 2020 hit, and within 1 week, we doubled our numbers.
Wow.
And by June of 2020, we were over 200 families a week. So
Wow.
it got overwhelming. So our pantry was actually empty. Every week, it was empty. But miraculously, the community, the Greater Chicago Food Depository, the federal government, we were able to feed these people every week. We never closed.
That's awesome.
We
Yeah.
even were open on 4th of July because
Yeah.
nobody could go to their family barbecues. So I said,
at
what are you
home.
doing anyway?
Yeah.
Come to the food pantry. These people need food. So, and then as 2021 came, we saw our numbers start to drop. People were going back to work, and they were able to maintain it on their own. And by December 2021, we were around 90 families. But then 2022 hit. The economy started
Slowing down.
Yeah.
Inflation, it came
Inflation.
in.
inflation,
Yeah.
and then some of the child, tax credits, ceased to exist. So people were finding that, they're working, but they can't make it. They can't make
Yeah.
ends meet. And we're finding that a lot of the people that are coming, they are working, they're just not making enough.
Yeah.
And we also are seeing a large number of refugees from Venezuela, Colombia, and Ukraine.
Oh, wow.
The gal who does our registration, she just kind of did a rough estimate, and she estimated about 15 to 20% of the people coming every week are from Eastern Europeans.
Oh, wow.
So,
So you were, in the beginning of the pandemic, you said around 200 families you were feeding?
yes.
Yeah. And then, so we're sitting here, fall of 2022. How many families are you feeding right now? If you had to give off
At
some
the
of the latest
pantry,
data.
at the pantry itself, we're feeding 225 to 230
Wow.
families a week.
Wow.
Yeah. And that doesn't count our mobile delivery system that we do to the apartment complexes. They're doing an average probably of 100.
Yeah.
So there's about 325 families. That's a lot of food.
That is a lot.
Huge.
To wrap your head around how much 300 plus families would need for a week is a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love the, Michael and I were originally met, he was talking and telling me about just the mobile food pantry. And that's such a genius idea. I don't know if they do that in other areas or how they do that, but how did that come into play, and why did it come into play for you guys? Michael, I'll go to you.
Well, that was just, as we said, we knew that we weren't reaching the people that we wanted to reach. Even with the increased exposure through the pandemic, that did get the word out more, but we knew that there were reasons we knew that there are things that are keeping people out of the pantry. And one of the obstacles is people who can't get to the pantry.
Yeah.
It's, it may be, you may forget
Gas
that
prices
yeah.
double. I mean, if you're on a fixed income or if you're, just getting by, that kills you.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. I
Yeah.
mean, a lot of people don't have reliable transportation. And so just through the conversations that we had with the clients, we learned that was a big issue. And so we had the ability to purchase a vehicle and and start the mobile food pantry program, where we load up the van with a whole bunch of food and we take it out to one of 4 apartment complexes in Palatine, Arlington Heights, or Rolling Meadows, and then we go and we distribute food on site. And that has been, as we say, a tremendous success, because you have people. People with disabilities, people who are seniors who may not be able to get to the food pantry reliably every week, and we are able to offer this service to them so they can come and take other services on site. And that is something that we want to just continue to build on and continue to grow, because we know that there's more of that need out there that we're capable of serving, and we even know some locations that we really want to get to, and we really want to be able to deliver on site. But we need to be able to develop the volunteer workforce, and we need to develop our resources, our food, and our money in order to actually be able to go out into these places and serve these populations.
Yeah. How did you, with the locations that you go to, how does that look? Do you just go park there and people come up? Do they have to sign up? What does that look like?
So they do not need to sign up. So generally, if the apartment complex has a main office, they will advertise for us. There's one apartment complex we go to that they don't have a main office on site, and we put up a sign that we're there, and on the sign we're able to put the next time we're going to be there.
Awesome.
So it's near the one of the entrances, and then we have signs at the other entrances so that they're aware that we're there. And as time goes on, it's word of mouth. Hey, the van's here, and they go the same time. So give you an example. One apartment complex. They are the first Tuesday of the month. So if they kind of follow that path, it's the first Tuesday, they're going to be there.
Yeah.
And
You start to see people outside with paper plates and utensils waiting for you to pull up.
They do wait in line, from what I'm told, yes.
So people could come to the pantry, or in certain locations there's the mobile food pantry.
Right.
Michael, when you were talking about, I heard about some needs, and it sounds like there's more people to be able to help, but there's a need for more resources. Can you just talk a little bit about what those resources are and how people of our community can step up to help?
Yeah, so I'll tell you a little story about what just sort of happened to us earlier this month.
Please.
So, as we say, we go out to these apartment complexes the first 4 Tuesdays. Well, there were 5 Tuesdays last month. So the last, rather than take a week off like a sane person would do, we decided to go out to a new location, just to sort of get our feet wet, see what that's like. And so we went to the Preserve at Woodfield, and we distributed food on site.
I saw that on social media.
Yeah,
right?
so we were, I don't know what we were expecting, but we were just basically completely blown away by the need that we experienced there. So the sites that we've been at now for well over a year, we worked our way up to 100 families every time we were there. We start, 50 or something, and then we kind of, as the word gets out and you become a more familiar site, then we get more families. Well, this one, we went there once and we had 100 families. Just the first time we've ever been there, just with nothing more than the Rolling Meadows Police Department handing out flyers, basically. And we had 100 families, and so, okay, we have to be here. Like, now we know this need is here.
Yeah,
we can't
establish the need. Now
We cannot turn our back on this. So we have to now figure out a way. How are we going to do this? And that's where as you're saying, that's where it comes in. So what do we need? Well, we need people who can help us at volunteer opportunities like this. So the mobile food pantry, as we say, goes out on Tuesday afternoons, and we need people working that. We're aiming to add Thursday afternoons to that.
Cool.
As one of our opportunities.
What is, before we go on to the rest of the story, what's the time constraint? I know people, even the church that I belong to and go to, like, everybody's like, I'm busy. Everybody's stretched thin now. Like, life is, I think, maybe going faster than any of us have ever imagined. I know I feel that same way, and I know a lot of other people do too. So how long is that, people want to help, but how long are you taking their time for? Not taking their time, but how long are they anticipated being out there for?
Yeah, we have a lot of flexibility in our volunteering. So if you want to come and volunteer for us, if you can only volunteer once a month, that's great. That's fine. We're happy to work with that. So generally, if you're working at distribution site, you're going to be there whether you're at the pantry or at the mobile food pantry, for about 3-4 hours, something like that. There are other opportunities as well. with shelving and such, food pickup, some other smaller opportunities like that. But right now, our biggest needs are for the mobile food pantry and for our pickup from the Greater Chicago Food Depository. So now every Thursday,
Well,
as
yeah.
of this month, correct?
Yeah, but
now,
we don't pick up.
well,
They deliver.
Yeah, they deliver. That's what I mean to say. The Greater Chicago Food Department pulls up a truck to us, and then we take.
You have to, like,
take the food.
unload it
We have
and
to
stock
unload
the
it.
shelves.
So you need
stock it.
people to
Yeah,
unload
and we
it,
need
to
people,
stock
and we
it
need
up.
people who got some muscles, because.
So Mike's out.
I was just about to say Jason's out. That's the best part about
I
it.
beat you to the
Yeah,
punch.
for
The
sure.
zinger was in play.
Gotta think fast around here. But
Yeah, I know. You got to go quick. No, but so I mean, to me, that seems like to unload a truck, you could donate 2 hours. If a couple kids from college or whatever, or like myself, if I'm available, you go for 2 hours. I think that would be welcomed, just to help out. Like, so we're not talking about you're donating every single day for 8-hour days.
No.
I mean, we're talking 4 hours a week, 4 hours a month.
Yeah.
Something that you can donate to help out the people in the community.
And to the members of the community that are watching this, 2 hours of your time, an hour of your time, if we all just do a little bit, what does our communities look like? Whether it's with this or whether it's doing something else, do something, spend time doing good for others. The world needs more of that. Like, I think we've learned a lot of things over the last 2 years, but that's one of them.
So I'm thinking we should start instead of a CrossFit gym, we should start like a food pantry gym, and we bring people that want to work out, unload the truck. They'll sweat. They'll pay us.
I mean, it's genius, man. Well,
It's a good idea. I think we should do this.
All right. So, Michael, you talked about the need for volunteers. What are some of the other needs and ways people that could give back? If they don't have time, what are other ways that they could give back to be able to help towards this cause to help people in our community?
So our mobile food pantry needs a lot of food. Again, we're looking to add another 100 families at least of food per month. So that's a pretty large
So
tab.
we talked about we're close. Right now the mobile does about 100. You do about 200 out of the pantry, so you're like 300. You're looking to add another 100 on top of that. So
Per
we're
month,
talking.
yeah.
Okay. All right. Wow.
Yeah. So
Okay.
and just to sustain these operations, we need large quantities
Yeah.
of food. So right now, at least for the month of September, you can donate food at the Palatine Library. All 3 branches of the Palatine Library are collecting on our behalf for Hunger Action Month. So that's super easy. You're already going to the library anyway if you're living in Palatine, probably. So just bring a bag of food or two, and that'd be a great way to help us out in a very simple fashion. As you're probably going to be there. Otherwise, you can also donate food at All Saints Lutheran Church. Again, that's the church. That's at I think 630 South Quentin. We're open.
It's right over by like the senior
Yeah,
center,
the
right?
Friends,
Right
that
down the street
area.
from Township a little
Yeah.
bit. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
so it's sort of in the South Quentin area. The building is open Tuesdays through Fridays from 9 to 4, and you can drop off food in the lobby. We have a marked container for that. If you have something large, if you have like several cars that are ready, if you've done like a DIY food drive, you can drop that out directly at the pantry on Thursdays from 10 a.m. to noon, or you could just get in contact with us, and we'll try to figure it out. We'll try to help you, because I know that sometimes you're not able to always make that time. We'll make sure. We'll always try to work with you if you have a lot of food they want to donate to us, and we'll make sure that it gets to the people who need it.
Awesome, man. It's a beautiful thing what y'all are doing, and it's a needed thing in our community, as we can see. So I'm so glad that you guys are doing the things that you do. We talked to. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say the only thing I didn't hear was like if somebody can't donate but they want to financially support. How are ways? I saw there's some events that people can go to or whatever. Are there things that people can monetarily donate to help out?
So donations can be received at our website, which is allsaintspalatine.org/donate. So you'll see a whole bunch of different things affiliated with the church, for example, pads. But the food pantry is one of those options, and that's the easiest way to donate to the food pantry right now.
Okay. And then if I'm a person that is like, man, I could give an hour of my day, I could give 2 hours of my day to be able to help. What does that process look like to becoming a volunteer?
So Carol is our volunteer coordinator, and you can get in contact with her at Food Pantry Volunteers, all one word, at allsaintspalatine.org, and she can set you up with volunteer opportunities. So again, most of our volunteer opportunities are centered around our distribution times, which are Thursday evenings, Saturday mornings, and the mobile food pantry, which is currently on Tuesdays, and we're looking to get out on Thursdays, and then there's also the delivery from the Greater Chicago Food Depository on Thursday mornings. Those are our greatest areas of need right now.
Cool.
Now that we all know kind of how to get there and kind of the scope of the food pantry, I mean, you can't work at a food pantry and donate your time for this amount of time without having some good stories or connecting with some great families. So do you want to share some of those stories that you have?
Actually, I do have a few. One that was just fairly recent. There was a woman, I was just there. It wasn't distribution day. We were working, setting up, stocking shelves, receiving deliveries, things of that nature. And Kathy Millen, who is the director for the POC, brought a woman around. She was touring her through the building. And you could visibly see that this woman was upset. She'd been crying and not happy tears.
Yeah.
And you could just tell. So, we were putting some bread together. We gave her some bread and, sent her on her way, made sure she knew when we were open. The next Saturday, I happened to be working outside, gathering grocery carts and bringing them back in the building. And she found me. And she did come to the pantry. And she was crying again, but they were happy tears. And she was just so grateful. And so she told me, she goes, I am so happy. And for me, it just made me feel that we are giving somebody hope.
Yeah.
Hope that they can make it through this week. And if we can make it through this week, we can get through another week. So it was just really a good feeling. So there was another lady waiting in line one time, and she said, she stopped me and grabbed my arm, and she said, thank you so much for everything you're doing, and on and on. And I said, that's what we're here for. We're here as long as you need us, is the line I usually say.
Yeah.
We're here as long as you need us. And she said she had gone to bed one night, and she didn't know what she was going to do, how she was going to feed her family. The next morning, she heard about our food pantry, and she's been coming ever since.
Yeah.
Isn't that such divine intervention if you need
Right.
it and it's there?
Right.
Yeah.
So,
God works out the details, right? Yeah.
Exactly. And, especially when the pandemic hit and our pantry was literally empty, that is a true statement. God does provide.
Yeah.
I mean, that
So-
would be so. I don't know if I could handle the anxiety of Sunday everything's gone, and you got another 200 families coming in the next week to get food. How do you know what I mean?
I didn't
that-
sleep well.
Yeah, it would be a very restless, uneasy nights
Right.
to figure that out.
Right. But the community came forward, during that time, and and they are again. But I think people aren't as aware that the food pantries, because it's not on the news. They're not seeing those long lines of cars.
I think it's
On the news.
unfortunately it's a badly kept secret. It's not spoken about enough, and you don't really realize how close to our communities or how close to where I live there are people who are in need.
Right.
Now, I will say, and I don't know if this is how it works by you guys, but I did donate 4 hours, and we were putting together packs and boxes of food that they were going to deliver out, and it was one of the best times I had. It was 4 or 6 people went, and we were throwing stuff and putting it in there, and you have to put it like Tetris. So there are a lot of fun things to do. I know it doesn't sound like a lot of fun, but you could donate, have a great time, bring some friends over there, and just kind of do something.
Create community
Get your hands
and
dirty.
do good for other people, and it's needed. It sounds like the community has arrived and supported, but there is still a need.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah,
So
very much so.
us as community members, it's time to step up. Inflation sucks. The economy is whatever it is right now, but the people in our local community need our help. Simplest way to say that. So for many of us out there, going to the store and picking up some non-perishables or to donate a little bit of money is not that much for us. But for other people, they need that support and they need that love. So if you are been blessed to be able to have those things, how about spread that and pay it forward by giving to other people? And I just love what you guys do, and it's such a need. I grew up going to food pantries to get food. It's needed. I didn't think about it as a kid. You're just going there. But now I look back and the gratitude I have for the people that are running it and putting it together. You're meeting people where they're at, and you're supporting them, and you're helping them do this thing that we call life. So I just thank you both for what you do, and I look forward to seeing you guys continue to thrive and continue to help and support. And if you're a community member out there, go to the store, go donate some money, go visit All Saints website, and give back. It's super, super important.
Don't even go to the store. I guarantee if you look in your cupboards right now, you probably
Boom.
come up with 2 bags worth of stuff that you said you were going to make for dinner that you aren't. And so you could put it in the bag and drop it off, and people could actually use it who want it and need it. And so I think that's where that'll resonate with more people, just get out there. And
that can that's been in the back of the cupboard, which we've all had, could feed somebody in our community, and they can
Yeah.
be grateful for it. So
Absolutely.
why not, man?
Yeah.
You guys are providing in our communities a sense of hope to people when they might not feel there is hope. And so, our community is made up of a unique and interesting people. And Laura and Michael, you're just another example of that. So we appreciate you helping and serving that void in our community.
Thank you.
Yeah. Glad to have you guys on the show today. My friends that are out there, it's time to step up. Let's do some good for our local community. You've been hearing us say it for, almost 3 years now. We are stronger together. It's time for us to continue to rise, continue to put that together, and make our communities a better place to live. So as always, Mike, anything else?
I mean, look forward to the Love Local Food Pantry workout where we unload trucks.
That's
Coming
right.
to
Mike's
a food
leading
pantry
that,
near
too.
you.
Mike's leading that.
Starting in October. We're going to start
Yeah.
October.
Guys, help your local community members. As always, support local, love local, and we're stronger together. Peace out.
Peace.